Hi, this is Neil from Neil's World, late July 5th, 9:45 p.m. Just came across some more information that makes me not worried about China attacking Taiwan. And if the Chinese know about this, they won't want to attack Taiwan either. It seems like our military is going low tech, and it's going to pay off big time. Got the news thingamajiggerbob going here. It'll be about 2 minutes, little graphics, show you what's up, a little forecast on it. Chinese can take down our supersonic airplanes or our real fast airplanes with their whatever defense systems and all. But there's logistics to missile fire. It's like the same reason we use aircraft carriers as portable, airports of firepower. You can move that airport anywhere. It's floatable. Well, this idea here extends the reach of our missiles without endangering the airplane. It brings a new missile into play into the warfield that can take out ships. And it's done from C-130s. Interesting. And even more interesting than that, jets, Boeing 747s. What? They're going to use 747s. The most advanced country in the world is going to use 747s. I've flown in 747s. They're passenger airplanes. Okay, well, let's see what happens here. Let me get you lined up.
Attack power quickly. The B-52 Stratofortress fighter can only carry a maximum of 20 cruise missiles. However, the Boeing 747 transport plane can carry 3 times as many cruise missiles, and at 1/3 the cost per flight hour of the B-52. The missiles are housed in specially designed deployment boxes. These boxes can be easily disassembled and installed on transport aircraft. Meanwhile, the aircraft hardly have to make additional changes to carry these boxes. The deployment box's operation is the same as the self-propelled artillery. The aircraft takes on the role of an armored vehicle, providing high maneuverability. These canisters function like howitzers, except that they fire long-range cruise missiles with precision guidance instead of firing shells. Once the target is identified and ordered to attack, the crew will drop the deployment boxes. The position of the deployment box will be stable and controlled under the action of the parachute. When ready, the missiles will be fired one by one out of the deployment box. Using a transport aircraft to carry and launch missiles is not new. In the 1970s, the United States tested the launch of an 87,000mm 57-foot rocket from a C-5 Galaxy transport aircraft. The U.S. halted this idea's implementation after proving it was completely feasible. Some analysts say that the U.S. has made such a decision because Washington does not want to provoke a more fierce arms race. The U.S. Air Force can send more than 400 C-130s and more than 200 C-17s into combat through the Raptor program. These planes can carry thousands of deployment boxes. Each of these boxes is capable of firing 6 or more missiles. In fact, military transport aircraft have shallow requirements for airfields and runways. China's most advanced long-range air defense system cannot deal with targets more than 200 miles away. This allows the U.S. C-130 transport aircraft with long-range anti-ship missiles to pose a serious threat to any Chinese warship in the Pacific at a distance of 500 miles. Mountain concluded that in the event of a conflict in the Taiwan Strait, the Chinese naval fleet deployed in the Pacific Ocean might not be able to withstand even an hour when facing the ferocious attack from American transport planes' missiles.
They project the Chinese Navy won't last an hour when we use commercial jets to attack them with our special bombs that we add to commercial jets because the logistics of warfare. They spend money coming up with systems arranged for certain things to, like cruise missiles, they get launched from ships and submarines. So they come up with defense systems that'll take care of that. The cruise missile has a certain distance of launch or fire that it can go. It can't go more than a certain amount of miles. But yet the C-117 and the C-141 have a hell of a lot of range, and it's like having an aircraft carrier of missiles in the air instead of having an aircraft carrier of missiles on the water. So America has just revolutionized warfare once again. And quite frankly, if I was the Chinese, I mean, what was that? 400 of one kind, 200 of the other kind. They can carry like 60. So you're looking at 36,000 cruise missiles can be launched in 1 hour. 36,000. And the Chinese don't have the defense capability to fire more than 200 miles. And these planes can be 500 miles away. So we can safely deploy 36,000 cruise missiles in 1 hour. That's just the Air Force. That's the Air Force. That's not the Navy or the Marines. The Marines have one heck of a long-range supersonic mortar they're setting up in the Philippines, I believe it is, and in Guam that will definitely hit the Taiwanese Straits. So they've got that concern also, and the Chinese can't do nothing about that because, again, the range, it's out of range. So I just, bring a little bit of military tech to you guys' financial mindsets. China's not going to be messing with, I mean, they might send some planes over to Taiwan, but as soon as they go to land one person, they're going to need a ship. And once that happens, their whole navy's dead. Everything they send will die. Because those C-140s and C-17s, 117s, can fly. Endless sloops. 300-400 miles away, ready to drop those boxes of 6 cruise missiles. And then if they need to get refueled, another plane comes in, refuels them. They don't have to leave. So they can stay there year round until they need maintenance in the air. So these are the things you got to think about. Well, you don't have to think about them. There's smarter people than us thinking about them. They're called defense people, generals, admirals, and stuff like that. And they've already thought about it. You guys don't know about it, though, so you keep thinking that China's a big deal. And they're going to take Taiwan and this, that, and the other. It's all posturing, people. It's all posturing. And also, if you look, if you recall, the Philippines kicked us out of that military base because the Marines were raping too many of their women. So we went to Guam and we built a military base to replace that. So we replaced that military base. Hold on, wait. Just last year, the Philippine president asked us to move back in. So now, not only do we have the original base, but we have Guam. And hold on a second, the Japanese gave us the most southern island of the archipelago that sticks out into the South China Sea, told us to build a base. So where we did have, I'm not going to pull the middle finger, where we did have one, we now have 3. And we didn't expand our military, and each of those nations of the Philippines and Japan asked us to build those military bases. You guys have a great night knowing that you live in the greatest country in the world. It's called America. Our politicians suck ass. Our economy sucks ass because our politicians sold us out. But America is still the greatest country in the world. Have a good evening, folks.